Welcome to today's news discussion. I'm Sarah, and I'm joined by Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. We'll be covering the latest news stories, starting with a tragic incident in Indonesia.
Let's dive into the story about the ferry fire off the coast of Indonesia's Madura Island. The reports indicate that at least 5 people died and 41 remain missing after the ferry caught fire.
That's a devastating incident. Do we know how many people were on board the ferry?
According to the reports, the ferry was carrying around 250 passengers and crew members. The National Search and Rescue Agency provided the latest update on the situation.
What do we know about the cause of the fire? Was it an accident, or was there something else at play?
The cause of the blaze remains unclear, as stated in the reports. Officials are likely investigating the matter further.
That's concerning. Have there been any statements from the Indonesian authorities regarding the incident or the rescue efforts?
The Search and Rescue Agency has been actively involved in the rescue operations. They've confirmed the number of casualties and those missing.
I see. It's interesting that the ferry was in the Java Sea north of Madura Island when the incident occurred. Do we know if there were any safety measures in place or if there have been similar incidents in the past?
The articles don't provide specific details on safety measures, but it's worth noting that maritime accidents can happen due to various factors, including safety protocol breaches or equipment failure.
Right. The reporting does mention that the vessel was called Mutiara Santosa II. Have there been any updates on the rescue efforts or the condition of those who were rescued?
The reports focus on the number of dead and missing. The rescue agency is likely continuing its efforts, but we don't have real-time updates on the condition of the survivors.
Okay. Let's move on to the next story. There's a story about a Waterloo family affected by a WestJet strike.
Yes, the strike by WestJet flight attendants has caused significant disruptions. One family, the Richardsons, had to spend $2,500 on new tickets to get home after their original flight was grounded.
That's a substantial amount. What led to the strike and how many flights were affected?
The strike was called after a 72-hour notice was issued by the union representing the flight attendants. The issue seems to be related to unpaid work, which is a sticking point in the contract negotiations between the union and WestJet.
Unpaid work is a significant issue. Have there been any previous strikes or disputes between WestJet and its flight attendants?
The reporting doesn't provide a history of previous strikes, but it's clear that the current dispute is centered on the terms of the contract, particularly regarding unpaid work.
So, the strike effectively grounded flights until a new agreement is reached. How are passengers being affected aside from the Richardson family?
Many passengers are facing flight cancellations and rescheduling. The article mentions that dozens of flights were canceled, causing inconvenience to a large number of travelers.
That's a lot of disruption. Are there any indications of when the strike might end or when negotiations might resume?
The reports don't provide a specific timeline for when the strike might end. It seems that the situation is ongoing, with the union and WestJet working towards a new contract agreement.
Okay, so the situation is fluid. Let's summarize what we've discussed so far. We had a tragic maritime incident in Indonesia and a labor dispute affecting air travel in Canada.
Exactly. Both stories highlight significant disruptions and challenges for those affected. The ferry incident raises questions about maritime safety, while the WestJet strike underscores the complexities of labor negotiations in the airline industry.
As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that both stories have broader implications. The ferry fire may lead to investigations into maritime safety, and the WestJet strike could impact the airline industry's labor practices.
That's a good point. We'll be following these stories and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye for now.
See you later.